Hi folks, Photostar here. Today Val's going to be flying the Delta Dart over to Minmus for a landing. Now Jeb already flew this to the Mun and back, and I ran into a problem during re-entry. Nose cone got so hot that it was still glowing red when we landed. So we're going to pop a little radiator on here and see if we can help it cool down faster when we get going. It also doesn't have any solar panels, and that meant I spent way too much time managing the electricity on the last flight. So we're going to just pop some solar panels on here. I don't really care if these burn off during re-entry because I won't need them once we're in the atmosphere. So we're just going to pop these on the side of the ship. And I was trying to get it to do radial symmetry, but I guess you can't use both kinds of symmetry on the same part of the vehicle. So there's our solar panels. And the rest of it's already built since it's we've already used this before. Set a control group for the radiator. And now let's do a quick tour. Here's the little ship itself. It's a basic Delta airplane with a Mark I cockpit. It's got brakes and air brakes to help with re-entry and landing. There's also a drogue parachute on the bottom. You can see that right between the main gear. It has regular landing gear. And this is set to keep it on the runway when it gets down. It's not good for takeoff. I have taken off with it, but it is not good for it. And then right in front of the nose gear, you can see a little vernier thruster. That's to lift the nose in zero atmosphere, low gravity environments. To get it to take off in the right direction. All right, so here we are launching, and we've got this way sped up. As I'm recording this looks really janky. I'm not sure if the editing software is going to clean it up when we actually render it. I'm hoping so. And there we are in orbit. And here's Valentina's view. Nice thing about the cockpit is you can actually see out of it. The capsules are a much more restricted view. Alright, so we're getting ready here to do the transfer burn. Heading up to Minmus. And this is kind of a long wait and a long burn, so we're speed it up again here. Oh, I can't see the timer from inside the cockpit. That's no good. There we go. We didn't have this transfer stage on Jeb's trip out to the Mon. And it was marginal getting back. I had to do like 5 rounds of air braking to get the orbit low enough to make the re-entry safe. And of course that means I didn't have much control over where I came down. So we overshot the Space Center and landed on a little island to the northeast. Good landing though. So the point of this orientation is that with these fixed solar panels, no matter what direction the sun is coming from, it's going to hit at least one of those solar panels, which saves you the trouble of running out of electricity in an attitude where you can never recover because you're pointed away from the sun or something, which has happened way too many times to me. Alright, so we got pretty good looking orbit out to Minmus. I'm not too worried about exactly what the orbit's going to look like when we get there, because Minmus is very forgiving on correcting stuff. Just as long as we miss the actual planet. There's our little green ball. You know, Val likes to do all the trips to Minmus because she's a big fan of pistachio ice cream. It doesn't work in KSP2 though. They took away the green color. Alright, so orbit's going the wrong way, but not a big deal. We'll just do a few extra meters per second and switch the orbit back to what it needs to be. You can also do that with a radial burn out where the ship is now, but this is about the same delta V to get this done, and it's easier to line up the maneuver. So here we go, right into fairly close. There's Val's view getting ready for the burn. That's about it. Not quite far enough. Make sure we're still oriented the right way. And pop it out a little bit. That looks good. And that confirms that we're actually in a prograde orbit now. Alright, let's set up to circularize. I could do this one seat of the pants, but I kind of like planning it and knowing how much delta P I'm burning. All right, let's do it. Get back in the right direction now. Yeah, there's a nice circular orbit. I'm going to look down here and pick a landing spot. I don't see anything I really like, but that darker area will do. Nice thing about a space plane is you're landing horizontally. You can land on almost anything and stay upright. And we'll see to the pants this one. Just watching the periapsis to get it to the right height. About 6,000 will do. That'll be above the surface and easy to get down from that height without too much descent burn. So I'm going to start right there and work around. And the planet has turned a bit. So we'll need to do another warp to get to my target. Or the start of the descent. Looks flattish from up here. Don't think that's going to be the case though. So we're going in upside down. That way when we set down on the landing gear, we'll be facing the right direction. We're going to pitch onto the landing gear. And we'll be facing in the right direction for departure. And sticking with the transfer stage as long as it's reasonable and safe to do so. So we have as much delta V in the little airplane to get back and circularize the orbit around Kerbin and so on. That allows for a much lower re-entry speed, and probably do it in one shot if we have enough delta V. We can see rocks on the ground, and that's the first signal I look for, yeah, it's time to start thinking about actually touching down. Everything happens so slow on Minmus. Landing is pretty easy here. This kind of approach works on the Mon too. You just have to be a little more careful about your speed and getting close enough to the ground before you cut your engines. There's another reason to ride the transfer stage down. Kerbals just love their explosions. There's another one. And there's our shadow, which is a really good guide for where the ground actually is. nice and slow. And flip it over onto its gear. Ooh, that was unexpected. Oh, we have a pretty steep slope here. Well, stuff is slow on Minmus, just give it some time for the brakes to catch hold. There, nice landing, Val. And we'll pop the landing gear up because that makes it a whole lot easier for Val to get back in the door. And there's Val. Do a quick EVA report to find out what biome we're in. Looks like Midlands. And time to plant the flag. This is a sandbox campaign, of course, so science is meaningless. So we're in the Midlands. And Val is proud of her accomplishments, so she's going to write Val was here. I can get my keyboard to work. Climb back in. Well, thanks for watching. So like, subscribe, all that YouTube stuff. We'll see you next time.